A Eugene pastor is blending service and ministry in hopes of addressing the city's homeless crisis.
KEZI 9 News reporter Jacob Roberts met with Pastor Gabe to show us how he is taking his message to the streets and the difference it's making in this special report.
Gabe Piavich isn't like most religious leaders.
So far, things seem to be okay.
You won't find him at the pulpit preaching to the choir, at least not anymore.
I grew up with zero religious or faith experience, exposure, or interest.
The former logger turned pastor has set his sights on one of the biggest issues facing Eugene.
There are thousands of people in our community struggling with homelessness.
From his church office in West Eugene, he tells me what he's seen on the streets.
Everything from hardened criminals, ex-felons, to moms with babies and kids.
But the unhoused weren't always on his radar. Before his former church at 18th and Chambers closed, he let some of those homeless sleep on the porch in exchange for community service, a move that sparked a desire to do something bigger.
And that kind of led to an explosion of interest from the unhoused population, and before we knew it, it was like a I-5 rest stop.
Eventually, the church closed, but Pastor Gabe was just getting started. He launched Everyone Church in April with the vision to make a serious change for the homeless community.
We're not centered around the Sunday corporate worship experience. We're centered around being the hands and feet of God in the community.
There is no physical church. To Pastor Gabe, the Sunday service is in the streets. What space the church does have is used to build tiny homes in partnership with another group, Carry It Forward.
Much of Pastor Gabe's outreach is happening right here on the streets. We followed him around for about an hour in West Eugene to see what it's like.
Oh, Montana, good to see you, brother. I've got really bad news for you. You can't stay here.
Along Stewart Road, you'll find a stretch of RVs and their occupants. It's a common sight in Eugene, notorious for causing conflict between homeless and nearby businesses.
We're trying to get in front of the RV camping situation in West Eugene, and it's very challenging.
With the help of Pastor Gabe, these folks are allowed to stay after signing a temporary deal with the city and nearby business owners. There are ground rules, no drug and alcohol use. Sanitation services are provided to keep things clean. Pastor Gabe is the unofficial street outreach coordinator for the city, using a light and friendly touch to keep the peace.
Hey, it's Gabe. Hey, hate to bug you. As you guys know, we got the hypersensitive situation with the businesses. They are concerned about the car, kind of how it's parked perpendicular to the curb.
Here, he tells some campers to park their car properly along the street. But before they can, a tow truck from the bank tows it away for missed payments.
Howdy. Good, how are you this morning?
Further down the street, Gabe breaks bad news to another man who's just moved in.
We're already at our max with the 10 RVs, and that was the agreement with the city and the businesses.
The man, though upset, agrees to move along. Pastor Gabe says he uses humor when possible to help deal with a tough problem like homelessness.
There's just so much pressure. It's like it needs to be released or the whole system's going to blow up, right? Just like a steam pipe system.
He says his church isn't the sole solution, but rather a way to bring all the puzzle pieces together.
I see us as the convener of a collaborative effort across the city and county to get this sucker figured out. And we have to. We are out of time.
The church is providing an open invitation for all who want to help out and be a part of the movement. In the future, Gabe says members will be able to participate in Bible study, a sober recovery group, and more street outreach.
Some people call me Gabe, some people call me Pastor Gabe. I don't really care what you call me, as long as we're doing something proactive together to make this all better for everybody.
In Eugene, Jacob Roberts, KEZI 9 News.